Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear? Hello, 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 hello. Is it okay? Can you hear the voice? Hello, hello. Okay, so let's directly get started. So hello everyone, welcome to the Coohom channel, and this is Jackie. We are going to have this kind of a course, specifically talking about the roaming video. Yeah, as you know, actually in Coohom, we can use this kind of function as the one of the main media outputs. It's not only related to our design, but also some uh, different ways to show the design, show the entire ambient environment, the space you're designing work to the client with the very popular way. Yeah, like uh, the clip of the video to show to clients. So I hope first you know that function in our tool. Yeah, actually we can do that. But many of you already said that it's hard to control or you don't know how to show a better result or better output. So today I'm going to share some of my experience in generating this video. I hope you can see. So can you see that? Is it really fast or you want to see it again? Do you want to see that again? I'm not sure if you can have that. Yeah. So actually, later I will share some of the experience about arranging the content of the video. Okay. Just before that, I will give you some important information regarding building that kind of video output. Yeah, there will be some certain preparation. Also, as I said, some limitation. Yeah, according to the system or according to our platforms. Before you go to generate that kind of media, yeah, we need to know some of the limitation or some requirements before. Okay, so today I am going to use this kind of case. As you see, first, of course, before you want to have that kind of uh, general environment, the well-prepared design environment, you of course need to finish all the design elements, of course, including the finishings, and also don't forget here one very important issue. We need to give a proper light. Okay, in our tool, as you see here, actually nowadays we have two options for video generating. First here, that video means manually. Here we can edit camera paths manually. Another is called a video template. Yeah, after you finish all the design work, you can turn to these two parts. Yeah, to generate not only like the perspective views, the pictures, or the panorama, but also we can use this kind of function to help us to get better generating. And also, as for the video output itself, it's a kind of a way to get a brand exposure especially when you can generate this kind of interesting content to invite the clients. Okay, invite them, just share together. You can share, or you can also invite the clients to help you to share with that in their social media. Yeah, like like kind of exposure, brand exposure, or just showing off. So this will be a kind of a way to generate more content to help us to get the brand overexposure. Yeah, and also just pay attention about that roaming video. When you turn to the this kind of function, just pay attention that lights. Okay, this is the first very important thing. And in our system here, you see nowadays we use more and more times for the real-time rendering, but currently we have this kind of a function only supported in customer lights. Yeah, which means if you try the real time, the only solution is if you can use the light from the fast. Yeah, in the fast ambient light, you can use that, okay, to create in the real time. But here, my suggestion, if you want, stay with the realistic, you'd better use the customer light add the light, for example, indoor daytime. Okay, just pay attention about that. The better resolution, okay, will not support this one. So just pay attention about the difference, because from the beginning, some of our user, when they select the real time, they already prepare the lights, but all in real time rendering, and then they turn to the high quality render of the video, and then they found that it's unavailable for supporting, and or they just turn back to the default setting of any kind of format of the light. So which actually is not the correct selection. We need to customize, yeah, in the custom light here. Okay, not real time. Yeah, and then you can have the best quality here with the HQ, the highest resolution. Yeah, so just pay attention about that difference. For fast, you can use that. Okay, and also here, if you turn to render, for example, at the camera path, now we can have this kind of selections from the lens. Actually, for kind of a viewing from a video making, we just need to control two dots. Okay, the first starting point and the second the end point. So what you need to do is to select different ways. Okay, different kind of lens movement. For example, for the linear, yeah, you can move forward, you can move also backward. Okay, don't forget the backward. Actually, sometimes for backward, it's a good way to try, and also you can use the curve. So for the curve line, you can fix the direction, or you can activate the focus. So you can see with the different movement. Later, I will replay our demo. Just now you've seen the demo, but this time we will try to analyze, okay, which kind of lens moving is selected, and then we can turn to the tool to try. Okay, in overall here we got this, okay, three selection: linear, curved. Okay, for the curved, actually it's good for the roaming and the emphasizing. You can stay more focused on the certain detail or the interesting point. Okay, and for the linear, just do some scenes description, for example, to introduce the client to access to the space, the design space. So you can have these two. Okay, and also we have another very special is the vertical. It's a kind of a fixed direction, or you can focus with the detail, and also to show some of the looking like it's kind of a elegance or the magnifying. For example, the full size of the wall decor, or the cabinet, okay, with a very big design. So vertical, you can also have this kind of a moving from up to down or down to up. It's also available. And just pay attention here. We got this limitation with one phrase. Okay, one phrase of the entire different routes. It only limits in 30 seconds in total. Okay, total duration is 30 seconds. And also, if you click anything here, it will show the current length. Yeah, the how it lasts, how long it lasts for the with the seconds. Okay, but also I can give you some of the suggestion if you want to create that kind of um, the interesting demo. So here, let us to analyze again. Okay, let us analyze again about what kind of moving we use. Okay, so hope you can see the video smoothly. I'm not sure due to the net lag, maybe it's sometimes slow or fast is enough. So let us see. Okay, so the first phrase you see here, it's moving forward, right? It's moving forward. So it's kind of an invitation for the client to see. And most of the time, we suggest, actually to go at the entrance, get start at entrance to moving forward. And also you see, sometimes we can move not only in the one dimension, okay, in forward dimension, but also we can move with a certain, for the vertical, okay, the horizontal dimension, you see. This is the second. And also you can stay with some focus. This is the focus point. And also vertical. Okay, so before this, okay, let us just to get this prepared in a tool. Okay, this is the linear. Yeah, this is something linear. So when you want to do that, you can turn to here, get the straight lines. Okay, click, and then zoom in. First, click and click with the start point and move your mouse to click at the end point. Okay, and now you can see there will be one of these straight lines with the preview. See, now it's moving forward. But here you can see the the preview angle is with very limit. So what can we do for the controlling? Now you can see here we got several properties for the moving lens. Here, first, angle of the view. Okay, of course you can make it bigger, but my suggestion, don't get too wide. Okay, most of the time just remain around, if you follow talking about a wide angle, it's just around 70 is enough. Don't get too much. Okay, sometimes I find some of our users, they use like this. It's really really big and it's not so suitable to show the entire ambience, because it's with the bigger ratio of on the edges, and the lines will be so abstract. So most of the time we just stay with around the 70. And then here that will come another question, but how can I see with the entire environment, right? So this time you can move your uh, starting point and end point to the outside area, but you need to activate here. We got this clipping. Okay, so once you activate the clipping, you can still have the distance to control. See, now you can control the distance. This kind of a function is just mainly helping you to avoid some of the front contact. For example, if I just turn it to 10, for example, here, it will be the the entrance door, right? So if I just add a few, just avoid the area, you will see the entire ambience. And also don't forget to get a lower angle of the camera. So you can see here, we got this camera position level. You can make it lower. don't get too low, okay? Don't get too low. Just remain at some of the positions that you can see the floor and the main entrance. Yeah, just feeling like inviting your client to access to their future home. This would be the best feeling. And also, sometimes if you really want to do changing not only on the only one levitation, you want to make it higher, you can this click here. It will be the unlock. Okay, unlock that start point and end point. At this moment, you can certainly to change for the starting point. Okay, for the starting point, for example, getting lower. Of course, the clipping give more. Now you see we got lower area, and then you can turn to the endpoint. Okay, endpoint get here, and then you can make it higher. Okay, of course you can just change. You can change the position, but just pay attention here. If you want to mm, change the starting point or end point, you sometimes you need to move. Okay, you move away the dot, then you can go with that changing. Okay, and just pay attention about this current length. Okay, when you move this point, actually it also moves the total duration of the current length and the total time as well. But my suggestion here for each current length should not exceed 5 seconds. Try to control it. Yeah, of course you might raise that question, how can I control? For example, if I really want to go with that much distance, but I want to make it faster, how can we control? Yes, actually, we do have that function here for the last part. This is the speed. Okay, for that speed, you can just speed up or lower, slower. And here, if you want, you can also control with the customized speed. Okay, if you click here, this will be your speed or efficiency of going through that duration, that length, okay, the length of that distance. So customize speed, you can type in number. Actually, this speed, it means millimeter. How long is that millimeter? Okay, during each second. Here it means in 1 second, the length, okay, will go across the 150 millimeter. So this time, if you want, you can manually to control. For example, if I want it, let's say I want it to slower, so I can customize the speed 120. And then you see here, current length, it takes 4.91 second to finish. Yeah, of course, within 5 seconds, it's fine. Let's preview. Let's take a preview. So you see, now it goes. Now it goes directly. Also with the height changing. So this is the way. Okay, you can also click preview all. So you can see here, it's moving, right? Of course, most of the time for the very beginning, it's really precious. The chance for your client to see that result of this the roaming video for the video is really precious. So my suggestion, this moment, don't give it too long. Normally within 3, it's okay. So let me do the changing. I want to limit that. Okay, still make it slow. 120 is fine. And also just pay attention about here, the camera position, okay, the level. It will also affect the time, okay, with the during the position. So for example, here it's around 3.5, okay, 3.5 minutes. So let's take a preview. Okay, it's moving forward and moving up as well. So it's fine for the first, okay, straight lens. And then you can now click another straight lens, click here and to here as well. At this moment, changing the angle, right? And then you can here Also remember we have that clipping activated distance. Okay, still move forward a bit. Okay, and then you can see the result not enough. You can just using this camera position. Yeah, the default setting of the starting point and end point it's synchronized. Here they share the same levitation. So what you need to do is just check for the starting point if it is available. See, now it's moving slowly, but check the time. If it is too long, yeah, the first thinking is to limit the distance, okay? Because for the speed, for the system, the preset of the speed is suitable. Yeah, what you need to do is just check about the distance. As my kind of experience, I really suggest we don't need to move really long distance within one clip, right? You can just move a tiny bit, but showing the clients enough ambience and or the suitable content, a very detailed content. Yeah, this will be also the choice, and it's also a kind of a way to show the elegance feeling with your slow moving. Okay, always remember this. And I can also compare one kind of a result to you. So first here you see, now we have this kind of around 3 seconds. Okay, so preview. Okay, this will be slow. This will be the slow result. And comparing another, let me show you. If we make it long, okay, we'll make this clip longer. Clipping shares the same camera down. Okay, but I control it still within 5. Okay, within 5 or 4 seconds. Yeah, and you can feel that. Check about this. Okay, this one slow, but how about this faster? You can feel that it feels like you're moving in a hurry, right? But which will not bring so good feeling. So try to make it slow. So if you want to delete, easy, click and delete. And also if you're holding down this button, you can switch the different orders of the different clips. So just delete that. Try to be slow, okay? Slower the better in this kind of roaming. Okay, continue. Okay, so here, now we have another viewing. And this actually is the main interesting point, okay, of the TV background design. So what you need to do is still use the curve. And with that very long distance, as now you can see here, we got 3 dots. It's not only starting point and end point. This dot is controlling the route, okay, the curve route. So you can roughly to put with the position that you prefer, okay, and also you can just still control with the part of the angle of the starting point and end point, and also you can move away the camera. Now you can limit that. Still remember, just now we've talked about the principle to make it shorter so that you can just roaming slowly and feeling bring that feeling of the elegance. So just make it shorter. Yeah, don't get too big. Yeah, sometimes I saw some of the users that really make in order to show the entire ambience within one click. They just move quickly from one area to another, from the starting point to the end point. But actually, it's not a way to use. It's not the proper way. Yeah, of course you can use that, but it's if you always let others feeling that you're in a hurry. But why? This is the client's home, right? So just limit that length. Okay. And at this moment, it also contains the function. So you can see focus lens. Yeah. Here you can activate the focus lens, and now you have the fourth dot. Okay. In total, yeah, we do have four dots. You see, starting point, end point, and the curve point, and also interesting point. Yeah, this is what we call the interesting point. And also, if you're feeling like you can't move properly of the interesting point, just roll up your mouse wheel and then put this dot directly, okay? Put this dot directly to the interesting thing that you want to show the client. Sometimes this kind of a thing maybe is some of your proper designed corner, or those products that client really interested in, or sometimes some of the hesitating points that client feel like, okay, it's hard, it's unable to solve, or it's really hard to make the decision. So you can show all this to the client. This is what we call the interesting point. It will allow the client to focus. Okay, it will allow clients to focus at the main content of your design, or the shining points that you really want to emphasize. So just pay attention about the position. For example, if you want to move the entire thing, you just need to move, okay, holding down the roots and then move. So for example, putting here, do the preview. Now you can see, okay. And sometimes I really suggest, yeah, make that root here, the last phrase of the root, you can make it a little bit closer to the dimension. Yeah, the last phrase, you can make it closer dimension. If you want, you can also control like this. For example, to move with a tiny curve. Yeah, and just either you just stay with alongside with the dimension, or you just need to make it in 90-degree, the orthogonal 90-degree, to make a really proper viewing. Okay, and also don't forget here, that thing we can also control with the starting point and end point to divide them, to unlock. For example, in starting point, I can make it lower, see, lower a bit, and the end point, make it higher. Yeah, because you break the link, you unlock them. So you can try that viewing. Sometimes not only with the horizontal moving, but also vertical moving. So it's up to your choice. Yeah, you can find that feeling of the moving, okay, and also bring a bigger difference. So making this kind of a moving. Just pay attention about the time. For example, here around the 3 minutes, 3 seconds. So it's good. Okay. And also, okay. So this part, we focus on some probably some charming decors. Yeah, maybe even the clients, the selection from the clients, the previous selection. Yeah, the client said, I really prefer to have the decors in the area, on the wall. So you can still give a precise lens, okay, the moving lens to it. For example, using that vertical as well. So click, okay, just click. This time you can't move. in the 2D. Here you can't move. You can just changing that dimension, the viewing dimensions, and then just put, okay? And also don't forget, yes, we do have that function called clipping, because you see actually now I have a kind of the neck of the floor lamp here showing not so good. So I can directly cut it, for example, clipping until you can't see that. See, now is the position. And also get a preview. See, now it's moving down, right? At this moment, if you want to change reverse movement direction, you can also make it reverse. But you can take an entire viewing. That starting point is directly touching down to the floor, which is not what we want, right? So what you need to do, yes, changing that starting point, okay, make it higher. There's no need. Just with that certain part, okay, of the interesting issue to show as the starting point. Okay, here, for example, half of the clock surface, now it shows. And then check about the endpoint. Yeah. At this moment, you don't need to show all of the content, just part of it for the detail. Yeah, of course, you can limit the angle of the view, make it stay focused. Yeah, make it stay focused, showing like this, right? But also, my suggestion for the moving, especially for a really, really narrow angle of view, you need to get one step further to slower, to make it slower. For example, customize speed now 100, only 100. Make it slower, and also I still need to adjust the end starting point. Now this is too low, still higher. Higher, which means actually now I am limited current length. The duration of the current length now is limited, and I can also show slower moving. Yeah, this will be the best. Yeah, don't get it really fast moving. Okay, again, don't get it faster. Okay, now we have that. We already have how much? It's already 4, right? 4 different clips. And continue. So you can see, yeah, we actually still combine the curve. This is the combination from the curve length and also the focus. Okay, the sided focus. So still, we use the curve length for adding up another angle. Yeah. Something similar to this kind of curve length, you can let the client to get specific content, knowing the content of the furnishings. For example, it's not only available for like table, but also for sofa, for chairs, for the seat, for the tea table, and this will be really helpful if you know how to control. Okay, control the curve length combining with the interesting point. So first, curve, and the second, activate the focus lens, putting here the point, okay, putting the point longer enough. Yeah, you can directly focus on, for example, the divisions, or you can focus on the sculpture and the decoration on the table. It's up to your choice, okay, it's up to your choice. And then you can turn still, okay, unlock starting point, make it lower, okay, and also endpoint, you can higher. Yeah, at this moment, you can take a view. You see, now it's moving. First, you can have the front view, and the second, it will slowly move the focus point from the front view to the back to the other content. Okay, and of course, I don't need that much, so I can limit that roots. No need to get that much. Okay, now just take a proper viewing. review. Yeah, first at this moment, the main decker, sculpture, and some evidence, and also the ceiling decker sometimes, and then continually moving. We can also have the view of the content of the product. Okay, so it will also always a good help to show the furnishings. And don't forget customizing. At this moment, you can just bring up the speed, for example. See, yeah, it's much better if you get it quicker because once you activate the focus lens, it means actually you have the very strong attraction in your viewing. So that's why at this moment, since you have almost all the interest, the focus eyesight of the focus of your eyesight already into one thing, so you can make it faster at this moment if you activate the focus lens. Yeah, so you can make it faster. For example, still I can continue to add up 250 to control. Yeah, within 5 seconds. Okay, within 5 seconds, it's still suitable. So you can see. Yeah. So here, one of this finish, and actually in this demo, I just make it even faster. Yeah. So you can see here, I change another dimension. You see, first, I will focus here. Second, now you will see the main target will lies in the sculpture, in the decor, in the surface of the table. So that will be the thing to control. Okay. So we almost actually finished half of it. Let's continue. Yeah. Is it okay, or you don't have any other questions? Yeah. Hope that I can try to explain as much detail as possible to you. Yeah, it's something not only just function, but also I want to share some logic or the thoughts, the ideas to arrange the content. Because as you now turn to the roaming video function, you are no longer just a designer. Maybe you are the director of the film. Maybe you turn to the director of the film. So you need to film out, yeah, film out those things, and your product become the main actor, right? So here also, uh, you can see now this clip. You can see we have the very basic viewing. This is a dividend, okay, and then the divider. After you show, you can see now we just moving slowly across the divider, and then we have a kind of content. It is called a dynamic model. Yeah, finally, the main part. You see, here, actually, why I put this kind of a viewing at the middle of the clip, the film, is because I want to continue to attract my audience, right? I want to let them have some different viewings. You see here, this angle is very special. Later, I will show you how to do that. But also, I have some moving, like dynamic model, the movement of the model to continue attract them, to avoid some very basic, normal, like even boring showing of the only one thing moving. So here, let me show you. So how we do that? Still, first, straight lines, okay? Straight lines, go straight forward, of course. What you need to do is click, okay? Start point, end point, and then moving across, pointing at that proper position. Yeah, you will feel a very strong auto snap, okay? The auto snap of the angle of your camera, and then you just need to move, okay? In one dimension. And don't forget here, we got this, okay? Pitch, yeah, under the angle of the view and the horizontal. Horizontal is easy to understand, moving there with the angle. Here, pitch, okay? To give a proper, you know, with the head down, you see? With the head down angle and moving forward. Actually, you don't have to start from very long with a very long distance. You just need to put almost at a part of it, you see, at the border. And then uh, here, changing the speed. Okay, speed is fine if within 3. And I think I can move now. Start point, end point, don't change that most of the time. Try if you head down for the viewing, for the filming angles, try try to avoid the changing anymore, because you see actually if you continue changing that, it will be a kind of a chaos when you fill the film. Okay, so just make it in the just really flat angle, and then make it higher or lower as your wish. It's up to your choice. My suggestion, make it a little bit higher, just similar like hello, 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 hello. Can you hear? Is it stable now? I think something wrong with the internet connections. Is it okay? Yeah. Hope you can see. Yeah. Just now we show you the straight lines moving, straight lines moving, and then what you need to do here for this one, you can just temporarily click complete. Yeah, to save the path. And if you want to add up those elements, you can also use here in the public library to search for dynamic. Yeah, you can see actually we have this kind of models. They are moving. Yeah, that the thing really moves. Okay, but only in render result, in the video render result. In those parametric, I'm sorry, in those panorama or in those uh, pictures, they are fixed. They can't move. Okay, and what you need to do is just find out the cleaning robot. Okay, where's the robot? Mhm. For example, you see dynamic or the vacuum cleaner. Yeah, I think we have 2 or 3 kinds of that. Here also, you see now it's moving the sweeping robot. Yeah, and also pay attention here. You see, just do the observation for me. Can you see that? Yeah, you need to focus on 2 things. First, the roots. You see, now for example, for this kind of a robot, it goes like a triangle. The roots of the robot is kind of a triangle, right? Which means actually when you get a starting point, it will move either on this way or on this way. So just pay attention about the direction, and also try to avoid some of the position that is too near to the corner or to the wall. For example, if you put like this, certainly the result, if you move for 5 seconds, let's say, the certain result will be a conflict, right? Conflict to the wall, which is, of course, error. So try to place those robots in some spare area with nothing to disturb. And also, another thing, you see some of this dynamic model. Yeah, you do the observation, you can find that actually it only lasts about 5 seconds. You see, 5 seconds, and then it repeats from the very beginning. It's not going back. Okay, it's not moving back as the rules, but it just shows suddenly it goes from the starting point with that repeating, which means actually it's a limitation for your roaming video. That's why our suggestion for the uh for a kind of a clips, okay, for the kind of roaming clips will not last longer than 5 seconds, because after 5 seconds you cannot sure that if this model can turn it back with the exact same routes, or it just suddenly repeat. And also, so that's the reason. Yeah, besides that, of course, it due to the the viewings, to avoid the clients feeling boring, right? If they feel like bored to see the repeating, with very long, for example, 8 seconds, even 10 seconds, yeah, they will have far less interest in looking at your artwork. So just pay attention about that. Okay, just control the time. Yeah, it's certainly with some limitation. So you can see now 3 seconds. It's fine. Still, we can have that. And then let's continue. Still the same. Okay, this is still the same. And also, you can find out the magazine. Yeah, you can find that magazine to put onto that, and then to have that result. Yeah, just stay focused. Okay. At this time, I won't show this one because it's really easy. You just need to get a start point, end point with the different levitation, and then you can have that result. Just stay with the focus. And also don't forget here, or I just show you that because you need to control a third. So here, you need to control a third height. For example, this time, controlling the focus point, focus length, and turning here, angle of view, putting, yeah. The default setting will be really flat. So pay attention. After you activate the focus lens, you do have the focus height. Yeah, turn to the angle until you can see the magazine. Okay, and then change. Okay, now change the height of the starting point, or just do the reverse. This one, end point, lower till I can see the chair, I can see the bookshelves, and getting the starting point, stay higher, stay focused onto the magazine, but just pay attention about the duration of current lens, make it lower, unless if you really want to avoid some of the angle. So just pay attention to the current lens, and now moving. See, it's also a kind of a way uh, to get a challenge of your filming. Okay, the filming talent. Okay, so still we finish this one. Now we are changing into another angle. So this time you can also get a straight lens. Yeah, this is easy, just a quick moving. And also I have some of the students, they also use this kind of a way, or not only with one, but also they continue combine with two or three. Yeah, sometimes kind of this combination is also available. Let me show you the preview all uh, from here, you see. Okay, this angle and continue to another angle. So you can make it really short. For example, make this point up, move away here, yeah. Making this point really short, but with the continually same direction. Yeah, continually with the same direction. And then you will have the feeling of moving, suddenly moving forward. Later, I can show you one of the demo, another demo. Yeah, it also gives a really good viewing of imitation. Later, I can show you that. Uh, After that, this is still the same. See, this is the changing the angle, moving with the dimension. But also you can combine with this. Okay, I almost have no time left. Yeah, you see that total time is total time limitation is 30 seconds, and now I already have 2.2.5 seconds. So let me just show you that. You can either use the curved lens or the really short, with the really short one. Okay, and also still in straight lens, we do have that function called the focus point, focus lens. Okay, get my interesting point to the cabinet. Yeah, now take a look. See, of course, remember changing the levitation, the height of the starting point and the end point. You can still have that result. And even moving like this, you see, the total time is still calculating. See, red means over the duration. So limited, limited, limited. Okay. Now take a view. See. So still you can use that, right? Okay. And finally here, vertical. It's easy to understand. This is turning back, moving back. Yeah, you can have different combinations as well. Okay, so they're almost there. So we can finish all the content. And don't forget the final part. Okay, this is the back end. You need to have the content to show the client who you are. Okay, and also to give your slogan, to give your advertising. So you can hack like that. And I can show you that kind of already done in a business demo. And let me check. Should be here. So this one. So you can see analyzing now. So first, two phrases. Yeah, two phrases. They share exactly the same direction, moving forward, but just like cutting into two parts. This is a very strong invitation for the client's eyesight and viewing. See, cut. Just now we've used that, also used that in our kitchen, right? In our kitchen demo. And then continue. This is the moving, yeah, in the horizontal dimension. Yeah, try to limit the pass. Okay, limit the pass. Don't get too long or too far away. Just with the certain detail, and of course, putting your main product. Okay, don't let your main product, your main actor, get on the stage too late. Just try to make it in the proper timing. Stay with that focus. Okay, interesting point. And actually, this interest point, sometimes you don't have to put in the really low or main dimension. You can also combine them with the scenario, the entire ambience, the environment. Okay, the background or the other decors. Okay, so this will also be the kind of a way, okay, starting from the point, okay, and even for the moving this time, it's not the curved lens, it's the straight lens. You can see it's a kind of a straight lens directly from the point to the point. And the interesting point at this moment, it lies really long. Yeah, it's really far away. Actually, it's around 2 meters under the floor. Yeah, you can make it really long, but this time I just want for example, I just want the angle to stay focused on the detail of the sofa. And this, yeah, this is the pitch dimension to looking down. And this one, the vertical viewing, but still, okay, activate the the focus point. Yeah, the focus point is around here. Yeah, around the ceiling. Is under the ceiling. You can see that view. And this one is moving backward. And then you can also still stay the focus point to the certain area. For example, it's around here. And then bring up the entire ambient. And finally, don't forget the brand, okay? The brand image, the brand exposure to show the client. So complete, click, and then it's done, okay? And then we can finish all this, click complete. And also now select the proper uh, the proper resolution and also aspect ratio as well. Just pay attention. Some of the using is it have the requirement. It's not 9. 16 to 9 is around 4 to 3. So just pay attention about the different output. And also ambient lights. Don't forget we use the customized lights, okay, as the high quality reflecting, and the brightness effect setting as well, changing to the proper, and then click render, okay, and then click consume the coupon to render, and you just need to wait. Okay, so actually for the time here, it will last for example, it reads about 24 hours, but actually the task will get start once the time is after 0 o'clock in this evening. So just you need to wait for your sleep, and then the next day before 8 o'clock it will show. Yeah, and then you can download in the gallery. You can download in the gallery. Okay, so so far is the main ways that we control with the video manually. I believe from previous time, maybe you already try the video template. It's easy, but for video, you don't know how to get a better outcome. Here, I already present our solution, and let's take a look as a summary. And also, I have another way, uh, kind of a combination to you. You can also later I can check. I can help you to check about that. So you can see here. This is forward or backward or horizontal moving for linear. Moving forward, it's focused on product detail. If you move backward, it means tells the scenario from the product to moving back to tell the entire scenario. Okay, and horizontal, it means the linear display. Just now we've seen that, right? And also for the curve, we talked about the curve. Curve, it means fixed focus. Okay, focus on some of the certain product or something that the design that interests you, and then fix the direction. Of course, roaming to show the routes. Here, I would like to give you a kind of a way. This is the fixed direction. Okay, fixed direction, but now the route is the curve. So it feels like now I'm moving to the upper stairs as well. So you can see something like this one. Yeah, this is kind of a really long continued path. So you can also use like that, but still the direction is fixed. Okay, and also uh, we got this vertical moving. Okay, fixed is focused on the product or the interest. The product mainly for the full side design, like the cabinets, like the wall decors. This is the fixed focus. And fixed directions emphasize that magnificent feeling. Okay, you can see if we're moving downward, you can have a really big design for the entire page, entire wall. So you can have the vertical viewing. And also, this is something really uh, kind of a challenge for you, maybe. This is the reverse drift. Yeah, actually, it's easy to get the result. You just need to let the interesting point stay focused on somewhere and then to use the path to walk by path. So I can show you inside it. Edit the path. Uh, we got too much For here, let me just delete that. Leave me enough time, okay? So straight lens, assume that I have the viewing stay in focus with the T table. So moving, yeah. At this moment, you can make it fast. Get the focus lens activated, putting at a point. Stay with lower focus height. Yeah. Also, I want the FOV to get smaller. Okay. So move first, starting point, lower. Now you can see. And then move the endpoint. Okay. Make it continue being bigger. Okay. All right. So now you can see actually we have this kind of roots. Moving that, turn it back. And I will get it really fast. Custom that speed. Not only 2, maybe more. Let's get 600. So take a look. Seeing that moving. Okay. Give a bigger picture. Yeah. So this will be some of the advanced using reverse drift. Yeah. It will allows us to get a product focus and then combine them to the scenario. Yeah. But this time is seldom we have this is the scenario that you can drive faster. You see, now you can make it fast. Okay. And also another way of the using is the shots combination. You see, the clip, you have these two phrases of the clip. If you want, you can directly to put all the dots to combine. And then just pay attention here that focus lens, we need to make these two different phrases to stay at one point, So let me show you that. For example, I just delete this one. Okay. Okay, let me try this one. First, a curve. Activate the focus. Let a point putting to somewhere maybe longer, far away. And the second, okay. And then also this time, activate the focus lens. But this moment, put to the same point. And this part, see, it's auto, okay, auto snap. And then you need to make sure that all these lens go along well, okay? Avoid some sudden turning, okay? Avoid some kind of sudden turning like this one. Just make it to auto snap and just make it smooth moving. And then you can now to get it faster. Here maybe 600 and the curve as well. Customize 600. Okay, so take a look. This phrase, yes. Still, it's focusing on somewhere, but you just see now it's moving to the different positions, to the different rules. Yeah, make a bigger difference. You can have the different results. Okay. Turning back, go backward, and even have a bigger view. So this will also help us to do more creativity, bring more creativity to your roaming. Okay, end to end, same focus point. Then you can have the shots combination. Okay, and also talking about the arrangement of the content, you can have actually this kind of a way. See, in total, with the starting point, and divide them into different lengths, and then finally get the review back. For example, first part, you can access get a star at the hallway or the room accessed, and also you can also put, for example, for the main production. For example, if you have the main product for the sofa, for the furnishing, you can first get a basic view, okay, for the main product as well. Sometimes, of course, the best way is still show in the hallway, and then you can turn to the divide episode. For example, the divide clip, the main routes, and also stay for the certain detail. For example, the armchair and some of the metal decors, or some of the really those products that with the really interesting point, you can get the close-up detail and also spin views with the slow motion and other decors. Sometimes remember to give some certain different decor to entertain their viewing. Okay, avoid the client to feel bored. So this will be helpful for you. Yeah, give some changings. Actually, our roaming video is a kind of entertaining for the clients. Okay, it's not that you can't just stay all the clips to focus on all to focus on your main product. It will be really boring to see that result. Okay, so try to be different, and then finally come back. In total, you can get the splendor viewing, the main viewing. For example, most of the time you can move back, and also get the full view with the product as well. And then don't forget the end page, your brand exposure, your main conclusion, something like that. Even sometimes if you want to tell the story, to be continued. That will be some of the shorts content that you can try to arrange. Yeah, sometimes we find our users that they know how to build up the different clips. Of course, for them it's kind of easy, and also for our tool, it's an easy tool to use. But talking about the content arrangement, how can they just try to show those things to the client, show the entire feeling? They have no idea. That's why actually we suggest you can just follow this really simple formula and then try your outcome. Okay, total divide and total. Okay, and also the dynamic model. Just now we already talked about that. Okay, you just need to search for dynamic. Okay, that's 5 seconds per loop. It will repeat, so stay within 5 seconds. It will do help for you. Okay, so this is the dynamic, and something with more complicated post editing result. This is the combination from day and night, but it will require the third party cuttings. So let me show you. Okay, what you need to do is stay with the same roots. Okay, same roots, render twice. Same roots, but render twice. So you can have that kind of a result with exactly the same camera moving, but each time of the render you use the different light. First from the daylight, and the second night, and then you need to cut. Okay, combine them together and cut one of each, and then to combine with the same timeline, then you can have that result. Yeah, so this will be the combination with the different changings. And also there will be some of more, as I said, the ideal sharing, the ideal uh, arrangement for your sharing to know about how can we do the proper roaming video, okay, both before and after. So actually in total, 30% idea, 30% material, all the clips, and the 40% of the post editing. Actually, if we talk about a proper, a good result of the roaming video, the final output. So you can stay with first, like the background music drum beat. Yeah, you can stay with that with each phrase, and it will turn really comfortable feeling. But just pay attention about the copyright. Of course, this sometimes you can have that resource of the no copyright background music. And also you can use the transitions, for example, roll, fade out, in, or dissolve. Yeah, the different transitions of the different clips, you can also use that. But also, most of them lies with the third party moving. Yeah. In here, we just use the mainly the main we support the main content, yeah, to generate the main content. And also if you want to have more charming thing from your video, you can bring like the texture, the text box, and also the storytellings. You can bring out some more content. Yeah, this will be helpful for you. And finally, the end page. Yeah, you need to okay, need to package that like for the social medias and also the vision marketing. Yeah, don't forget your brand. What we do, why we do this, why we do this kind of videos, it's not only for entertaining, but also it's a kind of opportunity to provide to the market that more and more people know about us. So this will be helpful. And finally, the plot reversal and the continue. Oh, that's another topic. If you want to have more storytellings and then bring the series of the creations, you can also use this. Yeah, just try to unlimit your imagination. Yeah, the roaming video is only the kind of basic tool, but the key thing is how you use it, right? Okay, I think that's all for so far. And do you have any other questions? You can also leave your message. Yeah, for video template, I don't want to talk too much because actually you see they are already finished and all prepared with the music, with those camera movings. What you need to do is just to have that result, right? But of course, talking about that, okay, uh, if you want, you can just first see click those rooms that you didn't finish the decor, and then here general preview, I won't talk that about that. But if you want, you can have the edit first. In edit first, here it just allows you to change some of the angles. For example, if you're dissatisfied with the preset, you can also move a little bit and then also change with the controllings. Okay, overlap here, of course clipping. Okay, and then you can check about the detail. Okay, for example, if it is suitable, if this is not suitable, you can move directly, and then the system will automatically see now it's moving forward a bit to save. Yeah, this will also do help, but it's really easy. What you need to do is just to move some of the angle, starting point, end point, and finish. Of course, you can check in 2D to see how it works. See, but it's just not showing your roots. It just moves. So just pay attention about what we do, and then you just need to click the create. Yeah. Don't forget to change the position to avoid some of the conflict or to avoid some of the angle. Yeah. To select your preference. Okay. And then finally click the same. So this will be helpful. Yeah, especially from the very beginning, if you don't know how to show the entire ambience of your design using this AI or use this template, the video template, and then it would help. Even they already uh, finished the background music and the cuttings for you, right? So you can try this as well. Okay, video and video template. Okay, so so far I think that's all for today. Mm, if you don't have any other questions, I think that's fine. Hope you can share with us with your more artwork and as the format of roaming videos. Okay. Thank you for attending today's course. Hope we can see you next time. Thank you.